Insert lightning. Halloween Havoc 1990. We're back coming off our SummerSlam 1990 show. But yeah, we're back in WCW. Sting is still our world champion. It's Halloween Havoc time. The time is or the date is October 27th, 1990. We're in the UIC Pavilion in Chicago, Illinois. Attendance for this 8,000. It's always weird seeing the WCW attendance in the I guess the earlier stages. WWF is always like 36,000, 40,000, and then for here it's only 8,000. So
Are they? I'm guessing they're also running smaller venues too, right?
has to, yeah.
I mean, maybe their Starcade will have a bigger. No, Starcade actually has a lower attendance than this.
Wow.
Never mind. I don't know. Maybe the Ted Turner years haven't hit him where he's actually throwing money at him. Like maybe he doesn't realize how profitable this is yet, so he hasn't given him that big of a budget.
The tagline is "Terror rules the ring." Here we go. Episode 29. Next week will be episode 30 for us. That's crazy, right?
Oh man, with another live reaction video too,
Yes, sir.
or recording. I mean,
Main event 4, 3, main event 4, maybe something like that. We'll see.
it is four. Yeah, it's number four.
But yeah, we start out in our Halloween Havoc adventures. The intro is like this scary ghost with a haunted house vibe, and all of the wrestlers are ghosts now going through the house, and then we cut to our new duo of commentators, Jim Ross and
Oh
Polly
man,
Dangerously. What do you think?
yeah. For that intro made me think of Goosebumps from like the '90s. I don't know, kind of had that feel for me. And we have Jim Ross and Paulie Dangerously. We're getting a little taste of the future here. This is a future Raw announced team in 2001. We're getting it like 10 years ahead of time. But that's not all. Somebody's back in WCW.
Who is it?
It's Tony Schiavone.
Oh, Tony Schiavone, dressed as
You
Phantom of the
probably thought
Opera.
he was a Phantom of the Opera, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
That's not the Phantom of the Opera, Landon. That's Tony Schiavone dressed as the Phantom of the Opera.
We got Paul Heyman. He's dressed up as a vampire as well. I don't think Jim Ross. Jim Ross just fucking. He's dressed up as Jim Ross, I guess. So.
Oh yeah, dude. He's dressed up as a sports analyst.
Oh
It just
God.
also happens to look like Jim Ross.
Actually, wish he would have said something like that. That'd have been hilarious.
Paulie dressed as a wrestling manager. He didn't come as one today because he's a fucking commentator. But
My man's been kicked to the curb.
I don't know. I really kind of do enjoy Paulie Dangerously on commentary though.
Could you imagine him and Jesse Ventura?
I feel like they just argue the whole time. They're both alphas.
Oh my God. But yeah, Tony Schiavone, by the way, interviewing Ricky Morton and Tommy Rich,
Yeah,
who
not
is
Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. You know the tag team you want to see. No, not that. Tommy Rich is here.
Robert
You remember that guy
Gibson.
that beats he beat Harley Race years ago to win the world title for a little while.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
here he is now tagging with Ricky Morton.
Um,
Awesome.
Robert Gibson injured, I think, as the Midnight Express hurt his knee.
Yeah.
So
Yep. The Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express war continues, and now they've injured. No, I think Gibson's actually been injured by the Freebirds, right?
probably, yeah.
And,
Yeah, it
well,
was
and he
one of
had a
them.
team with someone.
One of the dickhead tag teams.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a good bit of them. You won't see all of them on this show, but
yeah.
I only referenced that there's like one tag match cut from the. We'll talk about it in a minute. We'll talk about it in a minute.
But
I'm
yeah,
sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
you could. Our first match that we actually get to see, it's the two guys I just mentioned, Ricky Morton and Tommy Rich, versus the Midnight Express. Of course, Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane, with their manager, my number one manager, Jim Cornette. Just a regular tag team title match, nothing too special. But yeah, what'd you think about this match?
Well, I think it's finally happened to me that I have become quite fond of this royalty-free version of music that Midnight Express has entered to on every one of these shows. Um, it's just it's an earworm and it's stuck in there and I can't get it out. Let's see. Well, the match kind of starts pretty much how you'd expect. It's Morton and Eaton, and they do what they do, which is they get this slow build up to a very fast sequence that ends in like a big backdrop to Eaton. Eventually, the Midnight Express do what they do and work together and just catch him off guard. And then like they get Morton outside, and Eaton just jumps on him from the ring to the floor. Fuck, we don't need knees where we're going. We get the rocket launcher onto Morton on the walkway.
Yeah,
Awesome. You were
elevated
asking last
walkway
week.
is back.
Yeah, you were asking last week how I felt about it. This week didn't really do much to help it. Like I guess it's supposed to give me the idea that it hurts more because it's not on the the padded ring. It's on the
Ramp.
walkway. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
You gotta admit though, the rocket launcher onto the ramp is a cool spot in my opinion.
I mean it is, but I guess it's just making good use of the ramp while it's there. I don't
Yeah.
know. Um, but Eaton does a diamond cutter or an RKO, and it's just called some kind of neck breaker. Well, Eaton hits some kind of neck breaker out of nowhere. Cornette uses the racket. Awesome. Then they just beat the fuck out of Morton. Yep, that's pretty much what you expect here. Morton hits a Hurricane Rana on the floor, but still can't get up. Eaton then gets a massive leg drop off the top rope. Morton starts getting counted out like like it'd be a boring match. Okay. Kick his ass some more. Go for another rocket launcher, but Morton gets his knees up, and finally, after minutes of this match, we get the tag to Tommy Rich. We get the wildfire hot tag, and Tommy Rich comes in for the mild tag. He goes up top, and Cornette blasts him with a racket. That's it. We waited all that time for that. Southern Boys show up for the final, but not final time, I guess, depending on who you ask for this show. Hit Cornette with a racket of their own. That's wonderful.
They're also
And then
dressed up
Tommy
as him
Rich.
as well.
Yes, they were. Then Tommy Rich gets he gets Cornette and he hits Lane with it, and he pins. Well, he gets his racket. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
He gets Cornette's
Yeah,
racket.
so
Then
whenever
he hits Lane with it.
yeah, the Southern Boys they throw Jim Cornette into the ring and his racket goes flying towards the middle to Tommy Rich and then Tommy Rich uses his racket and then they win by pinfall.
Tommy Rich wins. Hell
Yeah,
yeah, he done it again.
Tommy Rich winning in 1990. Congratulations for the longevity.
For sure, yeah. For your first win of the year 1990. Awesome. The tag match was kind of whatever. Midnight was awesome of course, and then Morton sold his ass off, of course, and Tommy Rich was just kind of there. Like Tommy Rich literally he stood on the apron and waited for a hot tag, got his hot tag, got hit by a racket, hit someone with the racket and made the pin. And this match was fucking 20 minutes and 49 seconds. It was quite long.
Yeah, in this match, and I want to say even the next match, you hear the timekeepers like 15 minutes have gone by, 15, and I'm like, what the hell, 15 minutes? But I want to say it in a good way. Like I wasn't feeling that oh shit, it's been 15 minutes. It was like 15 minutes. That's awesome. That's how I felt about it.
I will say that on WCW shows, the 15, 20-minute matches do not feel as long as they do in WWE, and I think it's because they're they do the work rate matches, whereas WWE, if they when they go long and do those kind of matches, it's usually like not great,
Yeah.
and it just kind of drags.
The
Like
wrestling's
that
better in
45-minute
WCW.
Survivor Series. Yes, the wrestling itself is better, but damn, the product is better on WWE.
Hmm.
Like the overall product and presentation is miles better in WWE. Just the wrestling is better in WCW. And it's not even that like WWE necessarily has bad wrestling. It's just not these guys.
Yeah.
Like they have Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels on that roster. You know, I'm not gonna say they're bad wrestlers. Not that you did, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. No.
Tommy
Fuck
Rich wins in
him.
1990.
Yeah. He's probably won. Tommy Rich. Let me look him up real quick. He's about. He's about 5, 6, 7, 8. He's younger than I thought he was, or he would have been. He was born in '56. This is in '90. So he's about 34 years old. Hmm. Who would have thought? Right? Is that good math?
I don't know. Sure.
um,
What he's I've run across him one time I think in real life. Nice guy. Nice guy.
you should
Funny as fuck when he grabs a microphone, but
you should ask for a match. His last match ever.
I'll be all right.
You could be the one to retire Tommy Rich for good. Um, but yeah, so yeah, the team of Tommy Rich and Ricky Morton win. So
They
sad
beat
for
the
my
Midnight Express.
yeah,
Yeah.
a random ass fucking team put together beats the Midnight Express. Uh, you hate to see it. Uh, so after the match, we get a Sting promo.
Do we ever? Do we
Do you
ever?
notice that whenever Sting's doing his promo, he's like bleeping himself? He's like, "I'm gonna do the you know what, and I'm gonna shove it up there. You know what, right? You know."
Yeah, Sting kind of stumbles through a mess of a promo here. I don't know if he's ready to be a main event level talker just yet and do shit like this. But granted, this is weird.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Sting, go have a fake promo until an evil magician shows up.
Okay, and I know you and I spoke last week or the other day, and you said text me whenever I see the Black Scorpion. I didn't want to because I wanted to give you my genuine reaction. And what
Okay.
the fuck, bro? What the fuck is that?
Sting, Sting, Sting. Let's Sting over here, Sting. The Black Scorpion is here, and he's kidnapped a random woman, and he goes behind the curtain. And Sting tries to save the Sting tries to save the woman, but the security stops him. Instead of saving the woman, it's the security. They're designed to keep people safe, you know. Leave the magician alone. He's just doing his thing. But the woman, they all disappear behind the curtain, and then they appear on the other end, and the woman dives off the stage into Sting's arms, and the Black Scorpion flees. This was fucking hilarious. And I can tell by the sound in his voice that Jim Ross probably fucking hated this.
Black Scorpion probably not here for long, right?
Uh, yes and no.
Like I'm not
Yes
gonna
and
get
no.
like Black Scorpion in '93, right?
Yes and no.
Oh
Black
God.
Scorpion is going to change a lot of lore about somebody you didn't think you'd ever need this kind of lore for.
Okay.
I cannot wait for you to figure out who the Black Scorpion is. And do not get your hopes up. It's not something massive and game changing, but don't worry.
But it's funny
I
and
just
great.
don't want you to it oh yes. Oh it is. It's very hilarious.
Oh God.
But just I just want you to know right now that it's not about to be like whatever the equivalent would be right now of let's say let's say Joe Hendry had won the TNA title and Black Scorpion had showed up. It's not about to be John Cena.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
not. Don't expect something that massive, but like, I mean, it's a big name, but I don't want to spoil too much. But it's the fucking Black Scorpion, and he's magic, and that's all you really need to know.
I mean, he can make himself disappear and reappear, so he would
Yeah,
kill
and he
in
could take a
Vegas.
woman with him.
Yeah, for some reason.
But you know what he also did? He he also made 3 matches disappear because because on Wikipedia, I'm looking at the card here and I see Terry Taylor defeating Bill Irwin in 11 minutes and 47 seconds.
Oh, Bill
Terry Taylor,
Irwin.
by the way, the
Oh,
Red Rooster jumping, yeah. So he's in NWA now,
good
and
for
he's
him.
beating Wild Bill Irwin, who I would have liked to see more.
Me too.
Brad Armstrong defeating JW Storm. I'm not sure who that is. Yep, don't know who that is. And Brad Armstrong, is he's one of the Armstrong boys. And Master Blasters, which one of them is apparently Kevin Nash. Yeah, Steel of the Master Blasters, Kevin Nash, defeating the Southern Boys after their big shining moment where they got to show they weren't just another random tag team. Well, here they are losing as another random tag team a few months later.
They
And those
lost?
matches are just gone. Yeah. And
What?
yeah, they did. And those 3 matches are just gone. They're not on this version on Peacock. Now I figured that it could have been like they were probably cut from like the VHS or something like that,
Yeah.
like the actual official VHS release. But we looked further into it, Landon, and we actually discovered that for some fucking wild reason, a member of every single one of these matches, and I won't say who, wore fucking blackface.
Yep. I mean, it's the obvious answer why this show's only an hour and 50 something minute watch, and why those 3 matches would randomly get cut and then some more matches get cut later as well. But yeah, no, you hate to see it. They all went full uh Roddy Piper on us. We'll never get
Yep.
to see him. They're striped from the archive, and we live another day without seeing the Master Blasters. So
Yeah, we don't want anything offensive. Meanwhile, here come the Freebirds,
yeah,
who are who are now sporting this new attire they've got.
yeah. So we have our next match. We actually get a debut on the show for one of these teams. It's the Renegade Warriors, who is Chris Youngblood and Mark Youngblood versus the Fabulous Freebirds. Of course, everyone's favorite, Michael Hayes and Jimmy Garvin. Who do you like more,
How'd
Michael
you
Hayes
feel
or Jimmy
about
Garvin?
Michael Hayes by far?
Thank you.
How'd you
Okay.
feel about the Freebirds manager in this match?
So it's a roadie, they kept calling him. It was like
Okay.
Little Richard Marley, right?
Yes, it's Rocky King
Rocky
who
King.
is
Okay.
who is filling this role, and I cannot run into Rocky King on the show without talking very highly about this guy. One of my best friends, Eric the Ghost Silva, was trained by this guy, and I met Rocky at like this place that was for like underprivileged youth, like troubled youth, or something like that. And they had this like open ring for people that like couldn't afford wrestling training. And a lot of times when it was very hard for me to find places to train, I got a lot of training in that building with like, pro wrestling friends of mine and like my main trainer that would come with me to this ring and work out with me. So without Rocky, I do not know how I do not know how I would have had a lot of the progression in ring time that I had. So I'm very grateful for Rocky King. Rest in peace, Rocky.
That's
All
awesome.
right, we can go. We can keep going.
What year was that for you?
I met him in like 2014, 15. I think probably 15 because it was after. Yeah, it had to be 15 because it was after I come back from breaking my arm, but I hadn't quite like debuted and had my first real match yet. So it was the months leading up to that.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Yeah, hey, you know what? Shout out to
Yeah,
Rocky, honestly.
the little Richard Marley, man.
He's a roadie.
Yeah, I was not expecting him in this show at all. This is a pleasant surprise.
That's
Not
really
to Jim
cool.
Ross though. He fucking hates this dude.
I think Jim Ross would hate probably I mean that guy sounds like the nicest person of all time. So yeah, I guess Jim Ross would hate a freaking saint, honestly, if he met him.
If I don't have any fucking sports history.
Yeah. I bet you didn't letter at Michigan and play football for Illinois.
Can't say for sure if he did or didn't, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But yeah, what'd you think about this title match though?
Title match.
Not title match, this tag match, sorry.
I
Got
see, they fucking wish.
my T words
They
mixed up.
fucking wish. The match was whatever. I thought the Freebirds were great. I really did like the finish though. But to get up to that point, I guess yeah. We got Mark Youngblood starting off with on the offense. Paul Lee is playing like the perfect shit stir to Jim Ross. And this is like I think the first time I've really started to appreciate this pairing on commentary. I like when the color and the like the play by play or the analyst, whoever's in that lead role. I like when there's something about them to where they're just good enough friends to get through this job, but they secretly do kind of despise each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I really love that like that dynamic. Like Gorilla and Jesse, you could tell they cared for each other, but they definitely didn't want to hang out with each other after they left the broadcast table.
It's two different lifestyles. And also with this too,
Exactly.
it's
And
like Paul Heyman's like my age now. Like he's 24, 25 around this time. And Jim Ross is this like old head, like sports fan, older guy who's just doesn't want anything to do with him. So
yeah, probably. I mean, he keeps no, I was about to say it's not that he keeps going to clients with no sports background. This entire fucking roster seems to have a sports background, except Rocky King. No, actually, Norman the Lunatic didn't.
yeah. Um some things I had about this match though, Jim Ross, you mentioned he actually makes fun of, uh Richard Marley. One of the things he was saying, he's like, Richard Marley lives at home, and I know that some of us are gonna go do things after here, and you're probably gonna go back home to your parents too, Paul. Just making fun of him living at home. Also, the fans during this match,
Fucking millennial.
if there was like dead space or they weren't fighting or they weren't even close to each other, it was just DDT, DDT, DDT the whole time.
Yeah.
It was just awful. We get another instance of the time announcer saying 15 minutes have gone by, um, and then
Yeah, because this was like 1728.
17:28. Wow.
I feel like the clocks just move at twice speed in WCW, you know?
Yeah.
This shit's worked.
Also, one of the warriors, they do a meeting of the minds on the Freebirds, and then the other warrior comes in and does a double clothesline, which I thought was awesome. Yeah, and then a DDT
They
from
get
Michael Hayes in the pinfall.
the way they do this though is pretty great because like they get working together, they get rolling on the Freebirds, but then Rocky comes in, so the ref is distracted from this roll up, and Hayes slides in and hits the DDT while like out of the roll up. Like while he's rolling up Garvin, like Hayes slides in and grabs him and hits the DDT off of that. Fucking great finish, I thought. Match was whatever. And the Freebirds were awesome as they always are. And it's great to see Rocky King. And I love that finish, but whatever on the match.
It's twice in a row a match has been ended by the ref being distracted, though.
You see what I was meaning last week, where these refs are just what's happening?
Yeah.
All the refs have touched the fucking ball from Space Jam.
And they lost all their powers.
Yeah. My ref
Uh,
talents are in this ball.
those little green monsters took it from us. But yeah, after the match, we get a Four Horsemen promo. The Four Horsemen, only three of them are on. I guess Oli would be the other one, right? But he's just not there.
Well, Ole's like the
The
manager
manager.
or the president or whatever. I think Barry Windham is the other one.
Oh, okay.
Ole also the voice of the Black Scorpion right now, by the way.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So the Black Scorpion, he's gonna change the lore of someone, right? Or he is someone.
I mean, look, the Black Scorpion is probably one of the like most ridiculed angles in say in wrestling, but like yeah, in wrestling.
Hmm.
And it's not like the payoff is going to lead to a bad match or anything like that, you know. It's
Yeah.
just when you see it you're going to be like, what really? That's just kind of it. Not like a disappointing really, just a confused really. Like, do you know about the higher power
I do
in
not.
WWF? Oh my god. I was about to say it would almost be like the equivalent to WCW equivalent to that. But if you don't know what that is, and I don't want to spoil that for you either. Not
Okay.
that us watching the pay-per-views will necessarily like tease that because it kind of all happens within one little like pay-per-view to pay-per-view cycle, but we'll get to it. But it's just a very fucking strange moment and a strange reveal, and it just makes you think. You know, it just leaves a lot of weird question marks.
Okay. And
Yeah.
when does Sting fight him so I can see the reveal?
Um. So don't look at the card because it will spoil it for you.
Okay.
But I do believe it's Starcade this year.
Okay, let's go.
I'm looking into it right now. Yeah. It's yeah, Sting versus the Black Scorpion, yeah, is the for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Yep. Okay, yeah, it is. It is in fact paid off at Starcade. Awesome.
It sounds like 90 might be my best year so far that we've watched. um, one
It's got its ups and downs for sure.
one good thing the Scorpions say, I think it's Sid. The Sid's like
Scorpions, the Horseman.
the horseman. God damn it. Sid's like, the trick is to get out of line, and the treat is that the four horsemen rule the world together. I was like, damn, Sid.
Yeah, Sid was Sid here. Not good, not bad Sid. He did Sid. He was Sid. Not bad Sid, just Sid. It was awesome.
Our next
Hor-
match.
the
Oh,
I felt like Flair kind of phoned it the fuck in. And Arn did Arn. You know, I liked Arn's whole thing about like this isn't about good guys against bad guys. It's like we're all assholes here. Let's not forget this. We're all heels. That's all I had. You can keep going.
next match though, it is for a tag team championship. It's the U.S. Tag Team Championship. We have the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott Steiner, versus the Nasty Boys. Another debut for us. The Nasty Boys, who is Brian Knobs and Jerry Sags. Dude, there's so many new tag teams. I think they did it just because the Road Warriors left, right? Had to.
Yeah, you kind of have to. Yeah, your main tag team's gone. But I mean, there's still two fucking sets of tag titles, and like we have them on what Doom right now, and then so there's Doom, there's any combination of the Horsemen, there's the Steiners, we got the Nasty Boys, the Freebirds. You now have the Renegade Warriors. We know
Midnight
about the Southern
Express.
Boys and the Master Blasters, the Midnight Express, Rock and Roll. Well, not Rock and Roll Express at the moment, but you have Ricky Morton and Tommy Rich, the fucking undefeated tag team. They won tonight, and at one point we had the Fantastics, but I'm sure they're not around anymore. I don't know, man. That seems like plenty of tag teams, but I don't know.
Me either.
Two
Hot
sets of tag
start.
belts, so
Hot start though.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Nasty Boys
The
come out.
Steiners.
Steiner's running to the ring, and on one side you got Scott Steiner being rammed into the railing and hit with a chair.
Dude, he hits the shit out of him with that chair, like to the back of his head.
Yeah, holy shit. It was wild. This was a hey, we're four big dudes. Let's just beat the shit out of each other for before the match even starts. There's this moment whenever all four of them get back into the ring where Scott Steiner does this scary ass belly to belly from the top rope, bro. And holy
Yeah,
fuck, I thought he broke I think it might have been Brian Knobs' neck. It was awful.
I think it's Sags he did this too
Sags?
because I
Okay.
noted this as well. Yeah, and I was like, well, there's the receipt for that fucking chair shot.
Yeah. Oh my
You
gosh.
landing on your fucking head coming off this middle rope. Did Scott like he has a sit out tiger bomb? They do that electric chair bulldog combo.
And it's
And then the
beautiful.
ref. Yeah, it also looks like scary as fuck to take.
Yeah.
Like I just know that shit would kill me. Then the ref's an idiot and just misses a whole chair shot attack from Brian Knobs. That was the cutoff for Scott. Like a
Also,
barrage of chair shots.
I forgot to mention, like Jim Ross mentioned that the Nasty Boys are like the third best ranked tag team in the world or something. Shout out
Yeah,
to him.
he says the Nasty Boys are the number 3 ranked tag team.
That's weird.
I want to see this ranking list. Obviously, Doom has to be number 1, right?
Yeah.
So is number 2 the Steiners because they're the US tag team champions, or is number 2 Ric Flair and Arn Anderson because that's who's getting the tag title match tonight, or what? I don't know. Where are the Freebirds?
The Nasty Boys. That's so weird.
Nasty Boys are going to be around for a while. They're kind of a I don't want to say staple, but like they established themselves. They're bona fide, legends.
Established himself WCW, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna have a WWE run somewhere in the next few years, but like they're mostly WCW, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else about this match? What'd you like about it?
Well, there's more refs being stupid. There's a very fucking long heat, like, a lot of hot tag teases. um, I
Yeah,
have a
I feel
lot of
like it
notes
takes
here, but it's
forever for
mostly just
Rick
like
Steiner to get the hot tag. Yeah, I know what you meant.
and like even then they don't really sell that long. And eventually after like 15 minutes, Scott hits a Frankensteiner to Knobs for the win.
And
Really
awful,
long, and the story was
awful.
simple, but
I didn't
what do
think
you
he
mean?
looked good.
Yeah,
He caught him or he slung him. He came back from the ropes. Then he hit a Frankensteiner. I just think that is so scary. There's not a lot of
yeah. The
room
thing
for
about
like.
yeah, the margin for error is very, very fucking. Like that's the thing about Scott Steiner in this time period is like he's a very athletic dude, so he's doing shit that really you won't see on TV until the cruiserweights become a thing, and it's just impressive because he's really big doing this kind of stuff. But the problem is he's a big guy doing it to other big guys, so sometimes it gets like a little clunky, or the other guy isn't quite up to where Scott needs him to be athletically to be able to do most of the work, you know?
Hmm.
Like he's relying on a nasty boy to be able to like flip forward for him off of the Hurricane Rana. Like, yeah, good fucking luck. But I mean, he got there. I honestly I don't really remember the specific Frankenstein, like how it looked, but I'll take your word for it that it, it wasn't that great.
Uh,
Nasty Boys also probably agree with you because they just jump him after the match and attack him with the belts.
Jerry Sags busted open, and then after he gets busted open, he puts Scott Steiner in a Boston Crab, and you get the shot of just like the blood pouring down his face. It was so fucking cool. And then Scott Steiner, he like uses his legs and literally just flips him over out of the Boston
Well, yeah,
Crab.
that he's a powerhouse. You're not keeping him in the Boston Crab.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was it for me. The Scott hits his Frankensteiner and they win, and then yeah, the Nasty Boys attack him after. Uh, but what happens after the match? It is very
Yeah,
hilarious. It
yeah.
is
I had a really good laugh about this one.
Scott Steiner. He's being interviewed. You know,
Immediately after this.
yeah, he's like, oh, your brother, he's injured, he's hurt, they jumped you guys, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden we see this guy, this concession stand worker, pop up right behind him. He's like, got your peanuts here. And then all of a sudden he just starts beating the shit out of Scott Steiner. And lo and behold, he takes off his beard, his hat, and his apron, and it's the Nasty Boys. They had enough time to put on this concession stand outfit and jump his ass in a matter of like
Well,
40 seconds.
I feel like he actually did it in a matter of 3 minutes and 15 seconds because this is where the Junkyard Dog defeating Moondog Rex match is missing.
Okay.
So I'm gonna assume this happened as well. So the Black Scorpion also made Junkyard Dog and Moondog Rex disappear. That or um,
What?
Ted DiBiase bought them, and they're not gonna wrestle. I don't know, but
Junkyard.
I do love that with the this match missing, that our perspective of this is Scott Steiner is left laying in the ring until he flips him out of a grab, and then he immediately is interviewed and attacked by the Nasty Boys, who have already disguised themselves as popcorn vendors.
It was 15 seconds. It was like I don't know how we got here.
I don't even know if the 3 minutes of the JYD match is enough time to justify Scott Steiner like being found to be interviewed, and the Nasty Boys have been. So the Nasty Boys come back and they're like, God damn it, I'm still so mad. I want to beat the fuck out of him more. And they just look over, like, what do we do? I don't know. He's coming. Do we just attack him again when he gets back in the curtain? No, no. Let's beat up that popcorn vendor.
Yeah, steal
Take
his
his clothes.
clothes.
Take his clothes.
Yeah, and like literally even with that 3 minutes, like he had to calm down from being jumped, like whatever. And it's like, what the hell is going on? But no, I love that perspective now that there was actually a match in between it that I just didn't see.
It only barely helps though.
Yeah. Oh my
Like
god.
very clearly, this segment was recorded before beforehand,
Yeah.
and they just inserted it here.
Junkyard. God, I love
I don't even
Junkyard
know
Dog.
what his music is in WCW now. I don't think I've ever seen him get to enter.
Yeah, no. Um, no clue at all, actually. But yeah, so after this though, we have another tag team title match. It is it's for the NWA World Tag Team title. We have Doom, who is comprised of Butch Reed and Ron Simmons with their
Doom 1 and
manager,
Doom 2.
yeah, Teddy Long. Yeah, bro, they really got us with those little ass masks.
They tricked me. They got me.
Versus the Four Horsemen, which the two in this match are Arn Anderson and Ric Flair. And I am going to tell you something before this match starts. It is weird seeing Ric Flair not in the main event role, but at least he's still going after a title. And also, Ric Flair, I feel bad for the Brain Busters and Ole Anderson. But this is the best tag team I've seen Arn Anderson in.
Yeah, Ric Flair kind of fucking
Yeah.
shows you that he's still Ric Flair here, doesn't he?
Yeah.
My first note on this is also the same as yours. I put Ric Flair on the mid card is weird, but I'm here to see what comes of it. And I wasn't let down at all.
Me
I
either.
mean,
He
like,
killed it.
I mean, I'll go ahead and tell you that this is my match of the night.
Okay, I can understand. Both sides were great. Well, Butch Reed and the Two Horsemen were great. I don't know what Ron Simmons did, really. Um, yeah, most of these
Well,
guys were great.
let me go through my notes here. Maybe we can figure out what Ron Simmons did in this match. And I think he took most of the heat, didn't he?
Yes.
And it's also fucking strange seeing Doom taking heat
Uh-huh.
because they kind of ended up in the de facto babyface role here.
Yeah.
And I feel like that
Because no one
promo
likes the
later on.
Horsemen. Yeah.
I feel like the promo later on was specifically to remind you, like, hey, Doom are not baby faces. Doom are not baby faces. They are heels. They are heels. So let's see what we got here. We get a great opening where Simmons like he has this clear power advantage over Arn,
Yeah.
but Arn's like too stubborn and too like much of the grizzled vet to just like accept it. So like Simmons would get the upper hand on the first exchange, get a big suplex from the apron in. Flair gets a cheap shot, and Arn gets a suplex, but Simmons pops right back up. Sorry. Another great spot where Arn and Rick are teaming on Simmons, who just like lays them out with a line, and then Flair runs and grabs Long, who just slaps Flair in the fucking face. And here there's this typical moment in all these NWA tag matches where the action completely stops and they let what just happened settle and they stare across the ring at each other. And I usually fucking hate it. I did not hate this one. This one was awesome because like Teddy Long just slapped Ric Flair in the fucking face.
Yeah, and
Let's
it's
take a
it's kind
minute.
of like a time stood still moment because then everybody's in the ring and you have the referee trying to get, everyone back together, but you see the Horsemen, their faces are like, "What the fuck did this bitch just do to me?"
Yeah.
And then Doom's over
And
there
then
is like, "Oh fuck, we gotta fight an angry ass Ric Flair."
but that's the thing is like Reed's here and he's like, hell yeah, dude, let me wrestle Ric Flair. I can take this motherfucker. Uh, like he like Flair works him over. Chop, Chop fires Reed up and then he just hits Flair with a big ass gorilla slam. Uh, Flair's chops aren't working and Flair's just like kind of like falling around to Reed jabs. The spot is actually doing a lot for Reed. Like he's in there like exchanging strikes with Ric Flair, taking chops from Ric Flair. Like yeah, he's not beating his ass and outworking him, but he's in there with a fucking 6-time world champion.
Yeah.
He's doing something with him. Simmons and Flair get into a strike fest on the on the ramp because of fucking course. And then by doing this, like he just makes them look like bigger deals. Like both members of Doom, because he gets in the strike fest with Simmons on the ramp as well. So just by doing this, Reed and Simmons are both elevated, I think, and which in turn does the same for the fucking tag titles. They cut Simmons off and begin beating the crap out of him, like Flair, just fluid offense. Even though they're not like a tag team, they've been Horseman staples, and their chemistry is just great. It's like you say, like this, like of all the tag teams we've seen Arn thrown into when it comes to four Horseman pairings, like this might be the best one.
No doubt.
And then we get to that point where Flair shows you who Ric Flair is. There is a cool moment though, like where Simmons gets to roll the figure four over, but Flair had it placed like just close enough to where he could tag Arn,
Yeah,
so they
cuz
never lose control.
whenever he flips him over, Rick just kind of stands there and like holds his leg with his legs, and then he just tags Arn in. So yeah. Beautiful
I've got
offense.
quite a bit of note. I've got quite a bit of notes here. I think I'm close to the end though, right? Like I'm pretty close to the end of the match.
Yeah. Feel free to keep
Yeah,
going.
but then Simmons he gets tossed outside and he just like slams Flair's face into the guardrail so hard. Simmons sunset flips in. Flair makes the tag and gets a cheap little eye rake, and the Horsemen's they've been a step ahead of Doom pretty much the entire time. Like I legitimately for a second kind of forgot that Doom were the heels. I know they're heels and never stopped thinking of them as the heels, but like I don't know, man. I started to kind of get behind them and want to see them start to kick Flair's ass a little bit. Where am I at? Where am I at? Yeah, so Simmons gets a big two-handed bulldog for the double down. He gets the read, and then all hell breaks loose. Arn goes for a pile driver on Simmons, and wait, he goes to pile drive Simmons. Reed dives off the top to tackle him. Arn hits the DDT. Simmons breaks that up and pins Arn, who kicks out. This is fucking wild. And they pair off and fight occasionally intermingling, and then both teams are counted out.
Yeah, and
Whatever for the finish.
it's smart because I don't want to see either team pinned.
You can't pin Doom with the belts off them. You can't like you don't want to take the belts off Doom, so you can't pin them. But you don't want Flair and Anderson as your tag champions. You just don't. Like you don't even want to have them. I don't think you want to have Ric Flair win the tag belts and then two other Horseman members be defending them. Like this is what we need to do, and you're damn sure not pinning Flair.
Right. Hmm.
So I'm fine with the double count out. I thought the match was really fucking good. Flair's the man again. He went to the mid card and he made two fucking big dudes look like stars, and it's been the best match of the show for me. I've really enjoyed Doom so far, and then everything Rick and Arn do is top tier anyway. So it's not surprising to me that this match went as well as it did. I thought this was like far and away the best match on the show.
No, I mean, yeah, this match was great. My favorite part of the match was Butch Reed's shoulder tackle from the top rope. Um, I
Yeah,
was,
that there was a lot going on at the ending right there.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I'd give Butch Reed the MVP of the match.
He definitely like I mean I'm still gonna probably say Flair, but like he definitely was the one who gained the most out of that match for sure. So I guess you could say that for MVP because I feel like he's the one this match was made to specifically make look good.
Yeah.
Because the angle on when he like jumped off the top for that tackle, like the angle he had to get to on Arn, who's already got Simmons hooked for the pile driver,
He
like
has to
that was
jump
kind of
over.
terrifying.
Yeah, he has to jump over Ron for it, and it's crazy. And the one thing about it, it's like whenever Ron Simmons is in the ring getting his ass kicked for 3/4 the match, uh, I think Jim Ross, he's like, yeah, you hate to see this, but Ron Simmons does have the least amount of like in ring experience out of all these guys, so you expect Butch Reed to come up big here. So, I mean, Butch Reed, whenever he gets his hot tag and everything, I really just loved Butch Reed in here.
Yeah, for
He's come a
sure.
long way from wrestling Coco Beware.
Yeah, from being the natural. He's I wasn't on board with the hacksaw thing, and I don't know if they're still calling him Hacksaw Butch Reed, but I definitely am a fan of Doom Butch Reed. Him and Simmons just work really well together. I think like they look like two badasses standing next to each other.
You know who I wonder what they're doing right now in 1990? Don Morocco.
Yeah, we haven't seen him for a while. We're also I just had someone that we haven't seen George Steele in a really long time either. We're missing a lot of great people, but we still have fucking Tito Santana.
Oh yeah, we'll never see Don Morocco again. Retired in 1988, a couple years ago. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. At least we enjoyed him while we had him. What's Ranger Ross up to? No, don't answer that.
Oh no, yeah, never mind. Oh god. After the match though, we get a Stan Hansen pre-taped interview. If you
Yep, we sure do.
For someone
Sure
who's
do.
not going to watch this and just listen to our review of it, imagine imagine Bob Orton but 3 times more hillbilly, And then imagine a guy who has about 4 cans of dip out of his mouth where it's spewing down his face as he's talking. And then imagine him spitting it on a pumpkin. And then,
Yeah, yeah. That's Stan Hansen. That basically is him.
yeah. Oh, and he's holding a cowbell, the cowbell rope thing, whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
well, yeah, because he's a Southern boy. So
Yeah, and he tells the world that he's ready to take title back to Texas. So, all right. Which introduces our next match. It's the U.S. title match: Stan Hansen versus Lex Luger. Pre-match prediction. Who you got?
well, I knew ahead of time who was winning.
Really?
Uh,
It
yeah,
Yeah. It hurts and killed me.
I'll be honest. I can't believe that I'm at a point where I'm seeing the end of this like very long Lex Luger title reign, and I'm sad to see it. And I would kind of wish it would have been under better circumstances. Nothing against Stan Hansen. Stan Hansen's awesome, but man, I wanted to see us like build somebody forever to take this thing. I don't know. But I'll take this or whatever. We'll see where we go with this with Stan Hansen as the US champion, but um I thought the match was at least pretty good, It never
Kind of on
I
the
felt like
shorter side, right?
it was 9.5 minutes exactly. I,
Really?
I I feel like this match was fine. It just never really got into a high enough gear.
Mm-hmm.
It just never got to like that next level of Lex Luger match, and it definitely never felt like it got high enough of a gear to justify a title change,
Right.
especially like a massive one. Lex Luger's been champion for a while.
Yeah. Um. Well, at the beginning, I was gonna kind of like agree what you were saying. The beginning, I've never seen someone start a match more hot than Lex Luger. He starts on motherfucking 10 and he just literally starts beating the shit out of him, and he gets a couple shoulder tackles in. I mean, he starts this match hot.
No, he does. I mean, yeah,
But
for
yeah, but
sure.
then it just dies down. And it goes back to that ground and pound, headbutts, and we'll just punch each other over here or on the floor, and we'll tumble out of the ring a couple times, and I'll let Stan Hansen get some hits in on me. You ever met Stan Hansen?
No, I have not.
Let me
I
see if
don't.
he's
Is he
still
still
alive.
alive?
I hope so. Yes, sir.
Uh,
75 years old.
yeah, he still is. He sure is. I never met him. No.
I bet it'd be so much fun to meet him.
I'm gonna sit a few feet away from the splash zone, so I don't
Yeah.
gotta like, you know, have to wipe that fucking tobacco dip off of me. But
You should try to get Honky Tonk Man at Pro South. I will I'll be the front row.
I bet.
I will buy out the whole arena. Whatever it is, the show could just be for me and Honky Tonk Man. We'll enjoy it together. Oh my god.
So they kind of exchange control back and forth. After, like you said, when Lex Luger starts up hot on him, eventually he gets shut down, and they kind of exchange control with like mostly just strikes, but the occasional big slam. Hansen misses like a second rope dive, and then Luger hits a big drop kick, then a big suplex. Hansen just starts pounding on Luger in the corner, but the ref tries to stop him, and the ref gets hit by Hansen and eats a and eats a clothesline from Luger. I don't want to call it a lariat, but he just eats a clothesline from Luger. So there's no ref. And then look at this, Dan Spivey, former what was skyscraper, right?
Yep.
Also former varsity club member. Dan Spivey comes back and gives Hansen the rope. And Luger manages to fight from underneath, but is hit with this with a massive lariat while the ref's getting up. And then Hansen pins Luger and wins the title. Like I said, the match was fine, nothing too great. Another great performance by Luger, and Hansen looked great, but like I said, the match just to me never really got into a high enough gear. It just never felt like a big moment and a title change was coming. It kind of just like feel like it had the rug swept out from underneath it. Because Luger's been champion forever, and he just kind of like randomly loses to Stan Hansen. I mean, whatever.
To
Like I said, let's
Stan
see where
Hansen.
this goes. And maybe something bigger and better isn't too far down the line for Luger. And also, Luger has had this shit for a while, so maybe the belt just needs some freshening up because he's been champion for what, like 500 something days at this point,
It's been some
and
years,
it's
yeah.
just time for something new. But and I mean, and you look at the roster right now, I don't really know who Luger could drop the belt to, other than like, I mean, he won it from Barry Windham, and that would probably be one of the only other people I could imagine. Like, Sting's already moved on up to the world title. Flair has no reason to fight for the U.S.
There's
title,
too
so I
many
guess sure.
good tag teams and not enough good singles competitors.
I definitely agree with you. Um,
There's not a
they're
lot of
definitely
hype
just
around
more.
singles besides the guys who have the titles.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And right now, could you even tell me for certain who the TV champion is, if we even have one?
uh, I know we haven't seen him
Because
forever.
the
Is it
last
Steve
time
Williams?
that, I mean, it might be, but who, the last time I remember a specific TV champion was Sting.
Did we see him lose that?
No, he would eventually lose it to Great Muta, but I think he would win it back from him. I don't remember.
I'd assume Great Muta's gone by now.
I mean, he probably was like in and out. It was probably they probably were like, "Hey, have Great Muta for 6 months, or you can have him for these six dates or whatever the fuck." And they were like, "Cool, we'll put a belt on him in this one, take it off him in that one."
That's smart. Oh, Vader. We
But
didn't see
yeah,
Vader.
we didn't see Vader. I feel like he'll be at Starcade, perhaps.
I would say he would probably be the best singles
Yeah,
competitor right now. That's not a champion.
um, probably.
So Lex
I
Luger
mean,
losing it to
yeah. I mean,
Vader would have been
other than
way better.
Lex
Yeah,
Luger.
yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Vader versus Luger. I mean, but like, you know, like I said, I'm cool with him losing it to Stan Hansen, and but so I just think about he won the match, he won the title from Barry Windham. He had that really good match against Ricky Steamboat, a good match against Brian Pillman, a good match against Mark Callis. Uh, Before he won the title, he had that really great match with Flair. He had another really great match with Flair during that title run. Like this title run was a big thing for Luger, man. Like he put in a lot of really good matches on this title run.
Shout out Ric Flair. Or no, no. I mean, yeah, shout out Ric Flair. Shout
Always
out
always
Lex
shout out
Luger.
Ric Flair, but for specifically right now, it's shout out Lex
Yeah,
Luger.
yeah, that's what I meant to say. I love Lex Luger. He's so cool. Um, but yeah, and then after the match, we get a Teddy Long interview. Who's holding the tag team titles over his shoulders. Teddy's like, "We're done with them. We're done with the Four Horsemen. They had their chance." Um, Also, he responds. I forgot what Tony said to him, but Teddy goes, "Homie, don't play like that."
Yes,
I,
homie don't play that. And you know what that word is.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what he was saying, what he was responding to, but I specifically wrote down, "Homie, don't play that," and you know what that word is. But this was like I was mentioning earlier, where they just kind of made sure to have Teddy Long come in and be like, "Hey, Doom are not baby faces. We are still heels. Fuck you. We are still heels.
Yeah,
And
we
you
don't
can think
like
they're cooler because they
the
stood toe to toe with
Horsemen.
Flair, but don't cheer them.
Yeah, we don't like any of you guys.
Yeah, fuck you.
Leave us
Any
alone.
8,000 of you."
uh, but yeah, and then we get something. It's like it's we see Missy Hyatt, Jim Ross, and Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's like talking on his phone. And then Missy's like, "I just want everyone to know I was the first one that predicted Sid would win. I was the first one." And then Paul
Well,
Heyman's like,
that's
"Well, it's
embarrassing.
actually me, yeah." And yeah, she's like, I think the Black Scorpion has messed with Sting's mind.
Yeah, that was another thing to me is that I feel like they spent more time debating how Sting was going to overcome the Black Scorpion than how Sting was going to overcome Sid Vicious. So it,
Yeah, they're already setting up like what the next show or yeah.
yeah, it's for Starcade, and it just kind of it just screams like, "Hey, Sid's not winning." Not that, like, come on, not that really anybody expected Sid was going to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Sting's
Yeah.
coming off the biggest title win against the biggest champion. He's not about to drop it to an underling in the Horsemen while in this active feud with Black Scorpion. But the fact that like they can't even stop talking about the main feud, just Sid already had enough working against his suspension of disbelief, and they just like, yeah, no, 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 don't get your hopes up, Sid fans.
Yeah, no one believes in him, man. You hate to see it. Uh, believes in my guy Sting, not yeah. Like everybody knew Sid would win. Uh, but yeah, our main event though, it's for the WCW World Heavyweight Title. We have Sid Vicious versus Sting, who is our current champion. Now, there Sid's intro was cool, but the intro with Sting walking down the ramp and the close up of his face, and then you see the fireworks and everything going off right behind, or the pyro, amazing.
Yeah.
It is so good.
Yeah, they're working very hard to make Sting look like a star. I mean, not that he's not, he is. But they're doing their best to show it.
Yes. Oh, I was supposed to. I forgot to mention the Fabulous Freebirds. Their intro is always good. Bad Town
Oh,
USA, right?
the Bad Street.
Bad Street. Ah, I forgot. Oh man, I knew I didn't say something earlier about it. Uh, Sid, gigantic, 7 foot 11, probably, if I had to guess.
Did you hear? 7'11"? Yeah. Did you hear where he's billed from?
Uh-uh.
Anywhere he darn well pleases.
All right. I mean, honestly,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna argue with him.
yeah, for sure. All right. So do you want to get into this match, or do you want?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I have notes written for this match, but do you want to? Is there anything specific you want to say or point out?
Since this is the main event, I'm just gonna chime in with you whenever you go over things.
All right. So Sid attacks Sting from behind. He catches a big backbreaker, but it's no sold. Sting tries to get a figure four on Sid, who cowers away. Or not, probably. I wrote figure four, but he might have been going for the stinger or the scorpion death lock. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sid powers through. No, sorry, wait. They fight on the outside for a bit. Sting begins working the arm of Sid. Sid powers through and does some impressive kip ups and takes control. Sid stops the sunset flip, but then gets caught off guard anyway for a two. He goes back to work on Sting, mostly targeting his neck with the trapezius claw. Really cool to see that. I love that hold. Uh,
So
Sting also, the selling of
I
the hold is great.
okay, so I wanted to bring up the hold. So when I watched it, I fast forward. He was in that hold for 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Yes, yes, he was in there for a fucking eternity. You're not wrong. It's
I
like
fast
Hogan getting
forward.
stuck in a bear hug.
Yeah. Dude, okay, so be honest, you wrestler, is that just a hey, let's take a minute moment, right?
Yeah, it's a wrestle.
Okay.
It's a like it's some people use it to catch their breath. Other times for it to just be like, all right, let's let the crowd calm down a little bit so we can get them like so they'll have more air in their lungs to scream for the thing we're gonna work to next, or it's like let's get the crowd behind the baby face. Yeah, I mean it's all psychology. Not
Gotcha.
necessarily the psychology of like what you would do in a real fight, but the psychology of how the brains of your audience work and how to please it and how to give it what it wants when it thinks it wants it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, I got you.
Yeah. Very cerebral. Where was I at here?
It
The
was
trapezius claw.
yep.
Yeah. Small Sting comeback, and it leads to a big Stinger splash on the post. Pretty nice spot there. And it gives, was it, I thought it was Sting glows? I think I got my words mixed up. Anyway, they go back and forth. They wind up on the fucking ramp, of course. Sid slams Sting on the ramp, walks back to the ring, and then Sting just kind of like stands up and then just dives back in the ring and begins kicking
Jumps
Sid's ass.
completely over the top rope. Like didn't even give a fuck. And literally jumps over. And then so once he hits him, he starts beating him up in the middle of the ring. Sid falls back out of the ring on the outside. And then this motherfucker Sting goes over the top rope
Yeah,
again and hits him again on the outside. He did the same move twice in a row.
the second one was much bigger though because he went, he had the drop. So Sid just keeps trying to leave at this point, and then that's when the Horsemen show up, and Sting chases the big, intimidating Sid into the ring.
Yep.
Yeah, tries to slam Sid and fails. Wonder where I've seen that before.
Dude,
Sid
WrestleMania
then
3. I swear to God, bro. I swear to God.
also SummerSlam a few months ago.
Yep. SummerSlam as well. I literally thought for a second there. So I'm watching this, okay? They make it back to the ring. Um and then, Sting he goes for the slam and then Sid falls on him. And I'm thinking like, motherfucker Andre the Giant, bro. I can't escape this guy. Or I guess
Well, it
Earthquake,
was,
right?
yeah. Well, it
Earthquake
was
again.
part of the angle because Sid pinned Sting off of this, and I know right away, like, all right, yeah, something's up, something's up. So apparently, in all of this, somehow Sting was tied up, and a fake Sting came out to basically just throw the match for Sid.
Yeah, got me, bro. They look it got me
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. So we now have seen the very first of what's going to be a very long running trope in WCW, and that is people disguising themselves as Sting.
Oh, thank God. I need
People
more of it.
love doing it. Yeah. It'll get to a point where even Sting can disguise himself as himself to walk amongst his own enemies. Fucking crazy.
So I need to
Um,
point out something right here. There's this guy in the
okay.
crowd right in the middle on the camera side. He is holding one of those like voice recorders up to him, and you can kind of read his lips. And he's saying like he's like Sting just got pinned. I think he's recording it for his friends to just like play it back to him later, like what happens, or maybe he's like a
Uh,
journalist or whatever. But it was so cool just seeing like the 1990s where people didn't have cameras or phones or anything you can really bring in and record. This dude was talking
yeah, no
into one
one's
of those
live
recorder
streaming.
things, so it was that was wild to see.
That is really nice. Like to see the technology used back then. I can't wait to see people walking around with fucking beepers.
Yes. And like, we'll notice it like the guys in the front. It's like, oh, I gotta go take this, and they're like, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. But yeah, guess what? Wasn't Sting? Sting, he has ropes tied around his arm. Uh, the referee, he's like, wait a second, that's the actual
Yeah.
Sting. So he starts the match back over. Sting gets back into the ring, hits him with the belt. Don't give a fuck about it. We're not gonna DQ you. And just starts beating up on Sid. And then
Be fair, he was just tied up, so like.
yeah, and then Sting rolls him up for the win
Yep. Cool.
and
This
regains
was a
title.
fucking mess.
Fooled me though.
Like,
Had me completely. I was on my couch the other day, like, what the fuck? You're telling me I just
you
had?
thought Sid Vicious just won the
Yeah,
fuck. You thought you got Ricky Steamboated.
I was like, I was thinking like, man, I just watched Lex Luger lose the title. Now I have to watch Sting lose the title as well. I was so mad. And after the match too, you see the replay because we didn't see it when it first happened, but you see the two Stings like face to face with each other, like doing like kind of like the Spider-Man meme when they're passing by each other. Like, who the fuck are you? Who is the fake Sting? Do you know? I didn't look it
I
up.
don't know who I don't know who that one was. I know who like the uh Wait. It was Barry Windham that was disguised as Sting.
Okay.
Yep. But later on in life, there'll be another time they do this, and that's actually like a different person playing fake Sting.
But yeah, I mean, they got
Yeah.
fireworks went off, balloons were coming down from the ceiling. Like, dude, they got me.
Yes. Thank God. Sid Vicious is not the champion. Thank God. Oh well.
Yeah. Um. But yeah.
That what a mess that finish was. Like what a whole mess. Um and this kind of goes to what I was saying last week. Like WWE when they have really weird, wonky, like shitty gimmick finishes like this, it at least doesn't come off as like I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but holy fuck, this was bad. Like this ending was bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. But I also disagree with you in the fact of when I saw this ending, I just thought, holy shit, the breakthrough WCW just got for me on like an emotional level where I am now heavily more invested on the same level as my WWF investment.
Really?
Yes, I just thought like that is so smart, and I just like I don't know, maybe I'm just a casual or whatever, and I easily
No,
get
no, I
influenced by things.
respect it.
But when I saw,
No, no, I respect it.
I was like, that is so fucking cool. And then like literally when they did, like I said, they didn't mention it, but the shot afterwards, and you see the replay of the two Stings face to face. I mean, you get a jacked guy like Barry Windham, they look exactly alike.
As long as he just puts on Sting paint.
Yeah, pink pants. Like, if dude,
I
they
mean,
fooled me.
I I'm glad you liked it, but to me, it looked like them trying to out WWE, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, no,
know.
it's more and we mention all the time WWE is more like the storylines outside the ring. WCW is more about storylines inside the ring, right? So,
Y- I just also like we're doing this in the midst of his Black Scorpion thing. So I would just have to believe that if he was gonna lose the belt to Sid, it would have been because of interference from the Black Scorpion. No, but I mean, I guess you're not supposed to know that there's a fake Sting. Like I didn't know that. I just knew something was up when he pinned Sting like that. I just didn't buy it even for a second because the Black Scorpion thing was going on. And then this you know the fake Sting swap. I feel like any other night you could have got me with that, but when it was literally on the build to his thing with Black Scorpion, I'm not gonna believe that, you know?
yeah. No, I mean, yeah, no, I can see it from that point of view. I just think, I mean, and
I am
also,
glad you enjoyed it though. Like
yeah, no,
I love
no,
that.
no, yeah, yeah. I agree. I just think like you're more like wrestling minded, and you know what I mean? And you
Yes.
know things that have already happened. I'm that fan that has no clue what the hell is going on. So, but yeah, no,
Yeah, but I mean,
I enjoyed it, but it was a fuck fest there at the end. Like, it was crazy.
but I also enjoy my share of fuckfest. I mean, look at the wrestling show I'm on, you know?
Yeah,
I enjoy my show, my fair share of like, amateur theater fuckery. I love it.
yeah.
And I
Oh,
even love evil magicians grabbing women and teleporting with them. I love it all.
yeah. Shout out to that. That was awesome. Uh,
All
Here, I'll go first this time. I think you went first last time. Uh,
right.
so okay, okay. So it it's different because this is a very short show. I mean, it's 6 matches, hour 52 minutes. that we got to
Well,
see.
four of them are cut.
There's four other matches that we didn't get to see. Some I actually wanted to. Uh, but the thing is with that, it does highlight the six matches that you really need to see. Like I understand the JYD match. It's 3 minutes, right? So it's like okay, cool and all, but it does highlight the six matches that I would want to see out there night. Like if I was going through and it's like, hey,
Yeah,
check
for
these
sure.
off for the ones that you want to watch. So I actually think that actually helps it score. So I'm gonna give it 3.5 Russian Ass Asians out of 5. Um, and I don't know why, but the ending it hooked me. I wish man, I wish I was alive in 1990. I would be on top of the mountain. I have WWF and WCW both at the same time. And like me right now, it's like I have WWE, but I have AEW. I could care less about AEW, and I'm more of a WWE guy. Like I'll watch AEW when the Costco guys are on there. Hate to say it, but I mean, and there's some other guys on there that I like, but it's like I didn't have like what the '90s kids have, and like what you had growing up. It's like man, like those are like two people who are actually at the top. You know, wrestling is like this new thing, especially with media and like television and things coming around the corner. So I don't know, dude. It hooked me. I really enjoyed the last match a lot.
Damn, damn, man. That was a great little monologue. That's one I would expect from me, man. That's awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying WCW because I felt like I was shoehorning WCW in,
No,
and that
dude.
I was like
And I
forcing
am
you to watch this
excited for
shit.
Starcade. I want to watch every WCW. I love WCW.
I'm far more excited for Starcade than fucking Survivor Series and
Me
even the Royal
too.
Rumble and
I
honestly WrestleMania 7. But
I already know that like Survivor Series like it's probably gonna be 6 4-on-4 matches and you know we have to get through it. But man, oh man, am I not excited for that goddamn Starcade, bro. Uh,
it's
but yeah, 3.5
I mean,
Russian Ass Asians. Match of the night for me would I mean it has to be the main event. I mean like I mentioned it hooked me. Uh,
so
former
Starcade
oh,
does feature tournament shit, but
okay,
it does also feature the you know, you know, Sting, Black Scorpion thing. So
and
we'll
that's what I
we'll
need.
fight through a we'll fight through a fucking tag turn. Oh my god, a fucking tag tournament. We'll fight through a tag tournament.
Yeah, because what other
But
singles do they got?
dude, it features the original Rey Mysterio,
Rey Mysterio Jr.
senior homie,
Oh, his dad,
uncle.
uncle. Got it.
Yeah, and he's tagging with Conan. We get to see Norman Smiley. We get to see the Great Muda.
Oh, he's back. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at who there's a new, pair of skyscrapers.
Sweet.
Who's the Motor City Madman? There's that guy. Yeah, dude.
Uh,
Oh, the rematch, Lex Luger versus Stan Hansen,
Thank you, God. Please give him back the
in
title.
a Texas Lariat match.
Oh
I don't know what that
God.
is.
Oh God, Luger lost, bro. Luger lost.
A street fight with Doom versus Arn and Barry.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the Sting match is actually a cage match. So,
What?
yeah, yeah.
Dude, oh my God. I cannot wait for that.
I can't believe you got like excited for Starcade, but just based off of Halloween Havoc, dude. Because I'll be honest with you, I kind of had the opposite effect of Halloween Havoc. I think you liked the WCW show more than I did.
Dude, I loved it.
Um,
Real quick, my performer night, Butch Reed mentioned earlier. I thought he was
nice.
great. Really up to his level. You know, split him up. Let Ron Simmons go do his own thing. Butch Reed go do
Oh,
his
they
own
will at
thing.
some point.
Okay, cool. Good. I'm glad to know that. Least favorite match,
Eh.
probably Luger match. I just hated that he lost. Um, no offense to Stan and Luger, but I mean I just like hate that for him. That's so stupid. But if it is like, hey, I just want some rest or whatever, time off, cool. I'm all for it. Um, but yeah, I mean that's about it. There's not really Anything else for me? 3.5 Russian ass Asians.
All right. So for me, I feel like this era of WCW is kind of fucking crazy. It was really hard for me to make anything of any like make anything out of what happened on the show at all. Like Gibson's gone and Morton's teaming with Tommy Rich randomly. Doomer heels, but not more heels than the Horsemen. The Black Scorpion thing is weird, and I know it's only going to get weirder, but for that reason, I also kind of love it. Uh, uh, the Sid title swerve, what the fuck? I just thought that ending was kind of a mess. I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I don't know, just I don't know. I just did not have the same love for it that you did. It was definitely an easier watch than Great American Bash. And as early, it seems like early '90s WCW just seems like it's gonna start getting weird, which I'm fine with. I gave this 2.5 out of 5, to be honest. It's not like I thought anything was necessarily like eh, but some of the there was some of the finishes were kind of weak, some of the pacing was kind of weak. Nothing really like crazy or over the top happened or anything I really like was ecstatic over, other than the Doom and Horseman tag match, which you'll see from my rewards of Performer of the Night yet again, Ric Flair. It's really hard to pick another performer in the WCW roster, and this dude was in a tag match and still managed to shine through for me. But I definitely do respect and love your opinion of Butch Reed being Performer of the Night, and I can definitely agree with that. Match, same thing. Ric Flair and Arn Anderson versus Doom. It just had like a really good structure throughout the entire thing. It elevated Doom. It kept Ric Flair and the Horsemen looking fine. Probably the best use of a double count out that I've seen so far. Promo of the night for me would be the Horsemen right before the tag match. It was just because Sid carried it. I thought the other ones were kind of Arn's really awesome, and Ric Flair's a good promo even when he's like phoning in his promo. He's still a good promo, but Arn and Sid did all the work they needed to for that promo. Moment for me is Black Scorpion teleporting a woman across the sides of the stage and then making 3 matches disappear. That made this a lot easier to watch. And
That
my
might
favorite segment.
be the
Go ahead.
number one WCW moment we've seen.
It might be, honestly.
It's
And the
on
segment
par
for
with
me.
the bench press.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's that good. But segment for me was just the beginning to end of the Steiner Nasty Boy thing. The match was whatever, but I fucking love that from our perspective because losing the Junkyard Dog Moondog Rex match for whatever reason, that we see the Nasty Boys lose a tag match, beat the fuck out of Scott Steiner, race to the back to beat up a popcorn vendor just so they can beat Scott Steiner up again dressed as the popcorn vendor. So that's my favorite segment on the entire thing is the from the beginning of Nasty Boys Steiner's brothers to the ending of the popcorn vendor attack. That's my favorite segment. And that's my thought. Those are my thoughts on Halloween Havoc 90.
I think you like it more than the 2.5.
I mean, mm, I'm gonna stick with my ruling. I'm gonna stick with my ruling on it. But next week, Landon, we have some live viewing to do
Yes, we do.
because we
The
have the
main
main event.
event. And shout out, they're hey Triple H. I know you just bringing back Saturday night's main event, by the way.
Now, Landon, do you know the card for the main event?
I do not. It's 2 matches again, right? Probably
3 this time, actually.
3. Okay, it's what's
You're not
48 minutes long.
you're not gonna believe we're finally gonna get to see the big payoff after all these years.
Junkyard Dog is gonna be in a title match.
No, Rick Martel versus Tito Santana.
Oh, thank God! Loser goes to WCW. Loser goes to
No, but
Japan.
then we have Ted DiBiase challenging the Ultimate Warrior for the WWE
Whoa.
Championship,
Okay, I can get behind
and
that.
Mr. Perfect versus the Big Boss Man.
Whoa. Okay. I don't want Boss Man to lose, but Miss Perfect's in his name. Texas
Also,
Tornado's still the champion, I
be
guess.
sure, be sure that we bring up this this dark match of this show
Okay.
of the because it's a very popular moment in the story of one Shawn Michaels.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting close to him breaking up, I think.
Yeah, I don't think we're too far from it.
92 maybe?
That sounds about right. I
No.
honestly don't remember when they
December
break
of
up.
91
Okay, that sounds about right. That sounds good.
on a segment of Brutus's barber shop.
Yeah, because he throws him to the window, and that's like
Yep.
that is
And
the
I've
most
seen that
famous
clip
barbershop clip.
30,000
Period.
times. Yep.
All right, well,
All right.
there we go.
You got anything else to say?
I mean, just the usual stuff. Be sure you follow WrestlePodia on all of our social media stuff. That's
Mhm.
really cool. Got to get some of these numbers up. I don't know what they're at, but I bet it'd be really great if they were higher. Um, Also, check out Pro South Wrestling because
Mhm.
guess what? Not only do I talk about wrestling every week, I get to go do it myself every week. Mostly on Friday on Pro South Wrestling. We stream live every Friday night at 7:30 Central Time, and I'm heading into probably the biggest match of my entire time at Pro South, where I'm
Yes,
challenging
sir.
the Pro South champion Caden Uten in the main event for the Pro South Championship. And as the rest of that card comes together, I can assure you it will be a great one, something you won't want to miss. And then also over on Twitch, hit affiliate status and kind of somewhat streaming pretty irregularly right now, but follow
Streamed a
me
couple
on
times this week.
JetStream.
Yep.
I'm gonna get a far more consistent schedule coming up in the next few months. So keep an eye out on all of that. But go ahead and follow me and support me, up to this point,
Yeah, and also
because
if you're not
it's it.
following like right now, like go screw yourself.
Oh, dude. No, I mean, don't do all that. You don't have to screw yourself, but you can go follow me, and that'll be far more fulfilling for all of us, actually. Um, and then Joblin Junction on YouTube. A lot of the stuff that I do on my Twitch stream that involves those friends goes straight to that channel as well. And there's also a bunch of stuff that only is going to be on that channel. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much what I got going right now.
All right, awesome. And yeah, next week will be our live review of the main event 4. It's 48 minutes long, so it's not too bad. Probably with commercials, it'll probably be like an hour. But yeah, well, thank you so much for this time. Also, episode 30 next week. So let's go.
Awesome.